With artist development, we have build-ups. Oh my God. You can't give them too much. It's for the ego.
All right, you guys, let's go ahead and get into this read because, baby, hear me out. The dreams, my dreams. I've been having fun, but I also have been. I can tell when people are pulling on my energy. You understand me? Because it's like I'm there. Hear me out. I was at a round table. You understand me? I was at a round table, and I'm only sharing this part of the dream because Spirit's like, yeah, you need to get this out. Okay, so someone's needing to be mindful. Don't allow anyone to use you, okay? Because I was at a round table, and heavy on there's 2 sides. Heavy on there's 3. You understand me? That's significant. Heavy on a triangle. You understand me? It's coming off like a secret society. You understand me? But let me keep going. Yeah. Okay. So someone may not realize that another executive has plans heavy on for you. Someone's been watching you, but it's coming off like me and this individual. You have 2 executives. They really don't see eye to eye. But let me get back into this dream because I was at the round table and I saw a few faces. You understand me? I'm not going to say any names, but I saw a few faces. And there was a female and she was complaining. Hear me out. She was complaining about someone not jumping on board. Like, why is it that he's having to go through you? The only way someone's able to work with another individual is by having that middleman. Someone's not really wanting to deal with this female. Now, I don't know why. I didn't even want to get into details because there was so much going on heavy on at this round table. So me and this male executive, right? This male executive, we were sitting down and it was almost like we were interviewing people, honestly. And I just stepped in because y'all know I got a mouth. Like, what is it that you want? Well, how can we help you? It was like, why should we bring you on? You understand me? And this girl was just pleading her case. She was telling us what all she can do. And I was like, hey, you need to speed this up. Like, baby, I was sitting back and I was like, look at my little ass. Hey. But something said pay attention, right? I was paying attention. And I turned around and I was like, oh, your ass here, right? I'm not going to say any names. Right? Heavy on, but I did channel Aaliyah the other day. You understand me? So it's making sense because normally I don't pick up on this masculine, not like this. So he was in the dream. And now, these 2 executives, they started out together. You understand me? They started out together. And, you know, the streets say one executive cut out the other executive. You understand me? Wink, wink. But for some reason, they were in the same room. And so one of the girls, she had mentioned, she was like, I was up under this executive right here. And she pointed. By the time I turned around, she pointed to him. And I was like, don't go there. And he was looking at me like, what? I was like, don't do it. Don't sign with him. You understand me? Why would you sign with him when you could sign with us? This is what we can do, right? So the executive that I was sitting at the table with, I looked at him and I was like, yeah, tell her. So the second executive was like, why wouldn't she work with me? Right? Why can't I have a little bit? You understand me? I said, there's no bad blood. I can help you get some more people. I said, but this one right here, we need over here with us. And he was looking at me. And right before, like, I knew he wanted to go in. He wanted to curse my ass out on some real ass shit. He wanted to curse my ass out. And I switched it. I was like, would you like to take me out into the hallway? And we can discuss this? And he was like, yeah, let's do that. So we get out into the hallway. Heavy on, it was like a school. We get out into the hallway, y'all. And in the moment we get out into the hallway, it's like I felt the sexual energy. And he grabs me by my face. He's holding me by my face and he's guiding me. There was like this desk right there by the door. And so he's guiding me to this desk. And so he sits down, but he still has my face in his hands. He let go of my face. And he was like, what you doing? And I was like, I'm not doing anything. I was like, what you talking about? He was like, I can't work with you. I was like, why you can't work with me? What did I do? He was like, you just don't understand. Like, I can't work with you. I was like, what did I do? You can't, what you mean you can't work with me? He was like, what are you doing? And I was like, she's ours. I was like, there's nothing you can do about it. I'm sorry. He was like, I can't work like this. When I say this man was looking at me, hey, it was like he was staring into my soul, honey. He was staring into my soul. Heavy on, this guy is in his 50s, though. Between the ages of 50 and 56. You understand me? Heavy on between the ages of 50 and 56. This is an older guy. Remind y'all, I am 29 years old. You understand me? And I feel as if that's significant. But he was just looking at me. And I started smiling. And he was like, no. And I started smiling harder. I was like, I'm about to go back in there. I tell him that you got stuff to handle. And he just looked at me. He was like, you're going to be a problem. I was like, that's what they say. And I walked back into this meeting, right? Now, mind you, this is what really threw me off, because back to this female, she was upset. Like, does he not know that it's for me? Like, what's going on? It was like, they are basically taking this woman up through there. Like, they are really making her work for it. Because normally, it was coming off like all she had to say was, hey, it's for me. But, let me be very careful. Normally, she's able to just use her name. Someone was like, nah, I'm not wanting to work with that individual unless such and such is there. Nah, this woman, I kid y'all not, like, go ahead and schedule. All he want to do is fuck. Let's go ahead and get this ball rolling. Hey, I was just like, let me go on back to my seat. Let me go on back to my seat. So, I'm over here sitting by this executive, right? Heavy on, this is a male executive. I'm over here sitting by this executive, and he over here looking at me like, well, buddy. I said, don't worry about him. So, we get back to this person that we are, I guess, interviewing. It was coming off like an interview, but at the same time, it was giving vibes like she really needed funding. You understand me? She needed funding, and she wasn't making any sense. And I was like, hey, like, just tell me what you're trying to do. It was almost like I was the middleman. And I was like, hey, just tell me what you're trying to do. And so she broke it down. And I was like, yeah, this is what you need. This is how we can assist you. This is what you're going to have to do. You understand me? And she was just like, yeah. And I said, you need to be looking at him. You need to be telling him this is what you can do. I said, stop playing it small. Like, I was really on her ass. And it was like something just shift within her. And she just, man, it was like she was able to pitch the idea to this executive, right? And he was like, yeah, okay, I see it now. But it's coming off like this may be someone that this executive is really dismissing. And you may come in and assist this executive. It's giving those type of vibes. But hear me out. Now, this executive, back to after we got done, I was just looking around because I was trying to get familiar with the faces, because I was like, I know you. I was like, who are you? Heavy on, when I'm dreaming, I know that I'm dreaming. Back to, I know I have a lot of people pulling on my energy. So, I'm really trying to scope the scene. I am very aware when I'm dreaming, like. And so, it took me off guard, but this executive, he puts his arm around me and he pulls me close and he starts whispering in my ear. He was like, so what is it that you want? You understand me? What is it that you want?
Who came up with this topic?